Hey, hello! I was not sure that I was ever gonna try and record one of these again, but yeah, as you can plainly see, Sonic Mania is upon us now, and so yeah, of course, I'm gonna do something about this. I've let's played every other Sonic game, or all the mainline Sonic games on the Genesis, and this is like another mainline Sonic game on the Genesis. They brought it back. They're bringing it back to the basics. That's not really true, though, even. They actually expanded, like, way beyond the basics and added a bunch of other cool stuff, which was, yeah, really exciting. And that's basically it. I was like, I don't know, I was cautiously excited for this game. Like, there's all kinds of ways it could go wrong, Sonic Cycle, etc., but it all looked really good leading up to this. And, Sonic Cycle, etc., but it continued looking very good throughout, and then it came out. Or actually, it didn't quite come out. There were some delays and issues with the Steam version, but now finally it's out, and it's pretty freaking good. So yeah, we're going to begin Mania mode. As you can see, I don't have any save files right now. I was going, but this is not going to be a blind playthrough. I was going to do a blind playthrough, and then just to sort of, basically the day the game came out, I didn't feel like recording. I wasn't in the mood, but I still wanted to play it, so I figured, okay, I'll just play a little bit. I'll start up a no save game. I did a Knuckles no save playthrough, and it's like, okay, we'll do Green Hill Zone, and then just call it from there, and then do the full playthrough next day. But because I am completely lacking in all self-control, I didn't stop playing at the end of the Green Hill Zone. I ended up playing through the whole thing as Knuckles, and so yeah, I've actually played through Sonic Mania once. So yeah, so much for blind first impressions and stuff, but I mean, it'll be like kind of a blind Sonic playthrough. Maybe things will be a little different. Okay, so then the question is, do we go Sonic or Sonic and Tails? I think I want to do Sonic and Tails just because, I don't know, just because of the funny, stupid things that Tails can do sometimes. Also, I wonder, so yeah, this game is developed by what was it? Christian Whitehead and I forget the other. It's basically sort of some of the pillars of the Sonic ROM hacking community, as it were. Like I think, I can't remember who. I should have looked this up beforehand. But basically, the guys who made this are the same guys who were behind what was it? The Sonic 1 Megamix, and I think one. I don't think maybe I think they had some involvement in the Sonic 3 Complete ROM hack as well. So it's like like longtime fans of the series who have like been super involved in like the fan community, and particularly like the Sonic fan game community. So it's like a bit of a labor of love, this one, which is a lot of what got people super hyped about it. And I was kind of super hyped at first when I heard about this. Then the hype kind of fell off a little bit when I saw a few things about the game. But, yeah, all of that ended up being for naught, because the game ended up being pretty freaking fantastic in the end anyways. There should have been a fish there. Although, so yeah, I'm like, this is obviously an exact, or not an exact copy of the Green Hill Zone, because like I commented, should have been a fish there for me to bounce off of, but it didn't. What the hell? But, so yeah, but basically it's sort of like not even really remixes of old zones in this game. Like more than half of the levels in this game are from old Sonic games, but they're not like carbon copies or even like remakes or even just remixes. It's like sort of they're like, or I guess you could call them, yeah, remakes of old zones. There's like bits. Oh, that guy crept out and ambushed me from behind a rock. That's nonsense. Sneaky, that's the other thing. Apparently they improved the enemy AI here too. Playing a stealth game all of a sudden where Metal Gear, what is it, Rotobug or something like that, creeps up on me and steals my rings. But, so yeah, it's like basically all old, or mostly old zones in this game, but they're like almost completely redone. There's like bits of the old zones, like the old zone layouts still in here for nostalgia's sake, I guess. Or you know what, okay, they got these special stages. As far as I can tell, they don't get you anything at all. Like, you play Blue Sphere, and then nothing happens when you win. You get like a little coin, and if you get a perfect, you get a gold coin, and if you don't get a perfect, but get all the spheres, then you get a silver coin. And as far as I can tell, or at least when playing the game in no save mode, that does absolutely nothing. Now, there's a bunch of secrets and stuff on the main menu. Like, there's a menu for secrets unlocked, and there's like a couple game modes or, I don't know, options on the main menu that we don't have yet. So my guess, my theory, is that that's tied to this special stage somehow, and collecting those coins. Except that, I guess maybe it doesn't count them if you play the game in no save mode. We'll see if it does anything different here. The thing is it's really easy to get... There's a lot of lampposts, and it's really easy to trigger special stages in this game. Like, I eventually stopped getting them in my first playthrough, just because it was frankly boring having to play, like, or just, you know, going in to play Blue Sphere every, like, 5 seconds. That was the drop dash. I actually don't know how to do it. That was kind of by accident. Or I'm guessing... Okay, let's see if we can... Okay. So it's like the motion for a spin dash in the air, kind of. Because, yeah, that was like kind of a new move. One of the new... Oh, shoot. My invincibility ran out. Oh, dang. It's kind of neat. So it's like the... So, like, the levels are kind of remixes of old bosses, or of old zones, and the bosses are kind of remixes of old bosses, too. Like that, you know, two balls with the swingy, with one of the balls swinging from the other, is a bit reminiscent of the original Green Hill Zone boss. Does it take away tails from you during boss fights? That's... I don't know how I feel about that. Because on the one hand, it was really easy to cheese bosses in the original, in the original games with Sonic and Tails. You just get a second player on the second controller, and you just use Tails to kill the boss. Or I actually haven't even checked, but I'm assuming there's local co-op in this thing, just because of all the other stuff that they stuck into it. But, yeah, I don't actually know. Oh, come on. That was kind of my fault. I literally knew that those guys were there. Because, yeah, this early part of this is, yeah, a near exact copy of Green Hill Zone Act 3. Okay, let's see if we can figure out this drop dash, actually. Okay, so it looks like... Ooh, there's a ring right up there. Okay, so yeah, I am gonna be going for the like the special stages and the best ending and all that good stuff. Question is, can I actually do it? I did actually manage to do it my first playthrough as Knuckles, but it took some effort. It took me many retries to get some of these special stages down. And the question is, have I learned them sufficiently to actually like basically get these efficiently on my Sonic playthrough? So yeah, the thing with these special stages, the way they work, so it's like, yeah, you collect these blue spheres, and they, that sort of builds up a little power gauge, and then once you fill it up, you move up to the next speed level, like we're on Mach 2 right now. At the same time that's going on, your rings are counting down, so you need to collect rings to basically extend your timer and stay in the special stage. And then you've also got to race this UFO, because like even once you get up to Mach 3, like the UFO can still get away from you if you're not making an effort to keep up with it. And so you kind of got to balance all of those three things, where it's like you got to collect the blue spheres to get your Mach level up so you can actually start racing and catching up to the UFO, but you've also got to be collecting rings to keep your timer up, and then you've also want to be making an efficient path through the special stage to make sure that you're actually gaining ground on the UFO. So like it's kind of tricky to get the hang of it. Like I said, it took me like 4 or 5 tries to get through some of those special stages. But the thing is, the game is so long and there's so many special stage rings hidden everywhere that yeah, I was able to make like, oh hey, the original game never actually did this. They've got the spikes sort of rolling at us in the opposite direction. But yeah, it's really amazing what they've done here. So that, like I was starting to say earlier, I was kind of skeptical of this game when I learned that like they'd be including old zones in the game, because it's like, the old zones are fine, but I've played them like 20 billion times. And yeah, like I said, like I've memorized the layout of the old zones to the extent that I can tell when they've like copy-pasted sections of the old games into these new levels. Like I can see when it's like, oh, this is the bit from the start of Green Hill Zone Act 1, and oh, now we're into the part, this part's like Green Hill Zone Act 2. Like I can tell where they've copied stuff because I know the old games that well. But the thing is for the most part, they've included enough new stuff in here. I didn't actually want to drop dash right here. Okay, so what's doing that? I don't know why. I didn't actually look up the controls for this. Okay, we're gonna do another special stage and then we'll figure out the drop dash. But yeah, I don't actually know if I want to do all these special stages, because like I said... Because yeah, in my first playthrough I was getting like 3 special stages per stage, and it's like, that's a bit too much. It's like I'm playing more Blue Sphere than I'm actually playing Sonic Mania, and I think by the time I got to like the 3rd or 4th zone, I just stopped doing these altogether. And frankly, I didn't really get any confirmation that this is actually even doing anything yet, just kind of my guess or my assumption that this is the way that you unlock secrets. I don't know. I guess I'll just do like I did the first time and just keep playing these until I get bored, or just do them sparingly. Actually, this is a good system, maybe. Maybe no more than 1 Blue Sphere run per stage. I think that sounds reasonable. But yeah, anyways, it was so it's like oh, they're doing a bunch of old zones in this new Sonic Mania game, I heard. So it's like, well, how many? Because they showed off the Studiopolis, whatever, the studio zone, and I was like, hey, this looks really cool. I'd love a bunch more new zones like this, as opposed to, you know, just all old stuff redone. But the way, and so that was kind of a worry of mine, is that it's like, oh, it's just going to be Green Hill Zone again, and Chemical Plant again. But, yeah, they've really substantially changed a lot of these old zones for the most part. They've, like, added new obstacles and kind of fused, like, multiple gimmicks from multiple zones into one here. Like, you got, like, kind of these, what do you call them? Like, these zip lines. They're, like, the kind of thing you'd see in a lot of Sonic 3 and Knuckles levels. Oh, I bet you I missed out on, like, a special stage ring or something there. So that's one thing I'm actually worried about, is even though I've kind of learned the special stages at this point, and I'm a bit more confident in my ability to clear them reliably, the thing is I was playing as Knuckles the first time through. Because yeah, I got like 3 or 4 special stage rings my first time through the Green Hill Zone. And, yeah, I'm not gonna make it. So that I really like what they've done with the bosses in this game, too. So here we've got, like, kind of a remix of the Sonic 2 final boss here. That is some nonsense right there. Except, yeah, you can't quite get enough height to just hit him straight up. So you gotta sort of come at him from up here. And so you can kind of get extra hits by... Oh, dang it. It's a bit tricky, because... Or at least it seems a bit tricky, but the thing is... Okay, his legs don't actually hurt you. So you can kind of cheese it like this. And in fact... You can actually super cheese it. We're just staying completely underneath his legs. Like, I kind of wanted to show off the boss fight, like the way I did it the first time. But like, I did one test play of Green Hill Zone before I recorded this, and that's when I actually learned that stupid trick where, yeah, the thing's legs don't hurt you, so you can just stay underneath them and just like hammer on his crotch from below without getting hurt. And yeah, kind of dumb and counterintuitive. I can see why they did it that way, because, you know, because it's an auto-scrolling boss fight. You end up with the dumb situation where it's like, you know, you get hit, and then you're stuck at the back, and then you get hit again, and you're just kind of stuck inside the boss with the screen scrolling away from you, kind of. There's actually a boss fight later on in the game that's kind of like that, too. But yeah, for that reason, I can see why they make it so that the boss's legs don't hurt you, so you can kind of get out from underneath them without getting constantly sort of chain hits getting in on you. Or actually, you know what? No, so normally in like a normal Sonic 2 playthrough, I'd go like the upper route there, kind of, and try to take the fastest route through this zone. But actually, we're going to try things a little bit different this time. We're going to mix it up a bit. In fact, I've mixed things up already, like that first bit where I was talking about what I usually do. That stuff was all straight from Sonic 2. But yeah, now... Oh, come on, I saw some power-ups there. That's like... it's frustrating a little bit, but it's also kind of my favorite feeling in Sonic games in general. It's where you zip past something and you see something and it's like, oh, there's a 1-up or like something that looks like a secret passageway, and it's like, oh nope, you zoomed past it, you missed it. And it's like, oh, so it's on the one hand it's frustrating because you you're going so fast and you see this stuff and you don't see it in time to actually go back and get it. Like I saw a thing there, and now I'm gonna go for that. Booyah. That felt pretty cool. But yeah, on the one hand, it's kind of frustrating where it's like, oh, I missed the things. But on the other hand, it's like, it's enticing, tantalizing. It's like, oh, these zones have hidden depths. There's like stuff that I haven't even seen. Like, yeah, that's the thing. I've played through the game, but these levels are like so massive and just so like deep. Or is deep the word? Wide? I don't know. It's like, it's certainly non-linear. There's a lot of ways through these zones, it seems like. Like, in fact, I think everything past that first bit where I said, I'm going to do something a little bit different this time, and it's like everything I've seen so far in this stage up to this point was different from my previous playthrough. And that's always been, like, the greatest thing about Sonic. And that's the thing. They've included all of the greatest things about Sonic in this game, and even improved some of them. This is, like, an amazing, just worthy follow-up, I think, to the original games. This game, like, actually exceeded... I wouldn't say exceeded not even my expectations, because like I said, I was expecting there were like pitfalls and ways that this game could go wrong, I thought. But not only did it like sort of avoid all of those pitfalls, like, treading on too familiar territory and not changing things up enough from the old zones, and instead they've like completely changed things and added a bunch of new stuff. Okay, let's do the drop dash. Okay. So it seems like the way you do a drop dash, as far as I can tell, and we're going to get in our one special stage for this zone, or for this act. Actually, I say our one special stage, our one bonus stage? I don't know. Our one blue sphere play. I didn't actually find any secret rings in that act. Oh yeah, and I was talking about that earlier. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be able to get all 7 emeralds on this playthrough. Like, on the one hand, it seemed easier than most of the Sonic games, because this, or in terms of getting the 7 emeralds, because this game is a lot longer than the old Sonic games. Like, I don't know, it's about on par, maybe even a little bit longer than Sonic 3 and Knuckles, like the two of them locked on. But on the other hand, it seems to me like there's more opportunities for special stages than in those games. Like, I found like tons of special stage rings my first time through the game. And also the game's a lot longer, or sorry, it's a little bit longer, but you only have to get 7 emeralds as opposed to the 14 you needed in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So like, even though it took me like 4 or 5 tries to get through a couple of these, or of those special stages, like I was easily able to find, like, I'd say probably close to 20 special stage rings my first time through the game. So that was easily enough to, or I guess not easily enough, I just barely made it. I think in, not Metallic Madness, but whatever comes before that. Okay, let's see if I can clear this boss without getting a hit, because this seemed like a bit of a frustrating boss the first time through. Or not frustrating, like every Sonic boss, or most Sonic bosses, are super easy, because you can always just do the strategy where you just, just keep grabbing that one ring back. But this is one of those bosses where it's like, how do I hit him without getting hit myself? And yeah, where was the gap there? I don't know, it seems a little bit unfair. I'm sure you could learn it and get it to the point where you can clear this guy without getting hit, but I have not yet figured out the strategy. I mean, certainly the... Oh, dang. Mixed it up on me that point. Okay, maybe just stay away from him, except he was in the center last time. I don't know. Don't know about that boss. And that's the thing, the bosses in general are really cool, but some of them, I don't know about. Some are better. I mean, they're all super imaginative and have super cool ideas. Like, every single boss in this game is just like a super neat in the ideas department. It's just some of them work better than others. That one doesn't quite work for me just yet. Maybe there's something I'm missing. And yeah, this kind of thing here is the sort of thing I'm talking about, where they throw in fact, they especially tend to do it in the Act 2 of each zone, where they'll throw in something just completely different that totally changes, like, the character of the zone. Like, Act 1 of Chemical Plant here, like, it was remixed a bit. The layout was mostly completely different, but it still had the same kind of basic obstacles as the original Chemical Plant, so it felt like Chemical Plant. But this one they like add a bunch of new stuff, and it feels completely different as a result. To the point where it's like an entirely new zone with like kind of a chemical plant skin over top of it. And yeah, I just really... And they tend to do it that way, where it's like Act 1 is like kind of similar to what you've seen before, but remixed a little bit, and then Act 2 is where they like really let loose with the like super new and creative ideas. Like this, you didn't see this in Sonic 2. In fact, that's a little bit reminiscent of like the like some of the pipes that you saw in like Carnival Night of Sonic 3. And that's the thing, is a lot of these zones they'll throw in obstacles like from different zones where you got bits. So it's like, you know, it's like it's chemical plant, but it's also got bits from other zones as well. Or especially Oil Ocean Zone does that for sure. I'm trying to think now what the balance is between, because there's new. It's not all old zones. There's new ones in here too. And I still don't think I got around to my point about the special stage rings. I'm afraid that so it was super easy as Knuckles, but I abused the hell out of Knuckles' climbing ability to find a bunch of those rings. So, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it as Sonic. Like I think I had found like 5 or 6 special stage rings at this point in the game when I was playing as Knuckles, whereas I've only got just the one so far as Sonic. So I don't know if we're going to make it Emerald-wise on this playthrough. I mean, not that it really matters. Like, you got the save system, so I can always just go back and replay old zones and find those special stage rings that way, but yeah. Don't even really know what the point of me doing this playthrough is anyways. I guess just for consistency's sake, I've done... just for excitement's sake, frankly. Like, I'm just so hyped for this game, I feel like I gotta do something. And that's the thing, it's not even... Yeah, it's not really hyped. It wasn't hype at first. I was really curious and cautiously optimistic. But now that I've actually played it, it's like I said, I was kind of reluctant to do the video on the day the game was released. And it's like, I don't know, I'm not in the mood. Don't really feel like doing a commentary right now. Maybe I'll just play a little bit of it first and then do the blind playthrough of the rest of the game. And now that I've actually played the game through, like all the way through, I'm just like super hyped now. It's like, okay, now that I've played this, I've got to do a commentary because I'm just like so hyped about this. Now that I've actually played it. It was the same with Freedom Planet, where I was like, in fact, there's so much stuff in this game that reminds me of Freedom Planet, which is a dumb thing to say, I know, because obviously Freedom Planet heavily inspired by the Sonic the Hedgehog games. Okay, so since I'm not going to be finding as many of these special stage rings without the Knuckles climbing skills, I really got to make sure that I actually clear these as much as possible. Ah, dang it, missed the shortcut there. Didn't realize that we had wrapped around already. So the trick, as far as I can tell, is to not actually go too crazy trying to find the blue spheres. Like, you can, like, as long as you're sort of making an effort to, like, find shortcuts, and like you know, the main thing is taking shortcuts and cutting corners. A lot of the time, these sort of the racetrack will diverge into 2 paths, where it's like, yeah, you got one on the one side that's shorter and lets you gain ground on the UFO a bit, but then another one that's a little bit of a longer detour that gets you a bunch of blue spheres to sort of gain speed in the long run. And the trick that I've found, as far as I can tell, is it's basically never worth it to make those detours, especially in the later special stages where rings are a bit more scarce and you're on a bit of a strict timer, and it's like you don't have the time to make up that loss in distance. In fact, most of the time what I've found is the most reliable way to win these is to, like, basically just ignore, like, taking detours for blue spheres as soon as you hit Mach 2. Because as soon as you hit Mach 2, as long as you're cutting corners, you can start gaining on the UFO. So that's kind of my strategy. And it worked out. Like, I got super stuck on special stages 4 and 5, and then I think I got, like, 6 and 7 within 1 or 2 tries. So I kind of figured out the special stages, and yeah, we'll do our 1. Have we done Blue Sphere yet for this act? I don't think we have. Actually, I'm a bit disappointed in the implementation of Blue Sphere in this game. As far as I can tell, maybe it's not like this the whole way through, but from what I've seen so far, all of the Blue Sphere stages here are just complete, like, literal carbon copies, or not literal carbon copies, but figurative carbon copies, because obviously they, you know, carbon was not involved in the process of copying and whatnot, and whatever. Or I guess actually it isn't an exact copy, because this wasn't in the original version of this stage. God, that's how pathetic I am. I've actually like memorized the layouts of not just the zones of the original Sonic games, but even most of the special stages as well. But yeah, this one is close, as far as I remember, this is close to an exact match for, yeah, the first special stage in Sonic and Knuckles. Whereas the last couple we played were exact copies of the first couple special stages in Sonic 3. There we go. I actually don't think it's an exact copy, now that I think of it. The first two were exact copies, but this one I think is shortened a bit. They've, like, condensed the layout a little bit so it doesn't take as long. Which is good. They should do that, because Blue Sphere can take up a lot of time. Oh, this is funny. This, I think we're... Is this it? Okay, here we go. I don't know how I feel about this. So yeah, this is the second stage boss. I mean, it's funny, don't get me wrong, and I love just seeing it. It's a hilarious thing that this is in the game. I don't know that it's good that it's here. Like, I don't know that it's necessarily a good idea for them to do it in this way. Like, this is just Mean Bean Machine, straight up. Like, I don't know... I don't know. I just don't know about this. Like, for me, it's fine, because I kind of know Puyo Puyo. I was a fan of the series for a long time, so I kind of know what I'm doing with this type of game, so it doesn't take me much effort at all to clear this. But I've seen newcomers try and get in to, like, the Puyo Puyo games, and I can see people not exactly struggling with this boss. Like, the difficulty level of Robotnik here is, like, the difficulty level of, like, literally stage 1 of Mean Bean Machine. It's like, I don't think anyone's actually going to fail this stage. And in fact, or this boss fight. And actually, I don't even know if it's possible to fail. I have not actually tried out to see what happens if you lose that boss fight. If it just kills you, or maybe if there's like an alternate boss fight that it drops you down to. That's actually interesting. I should try that out now that I think of it. But yeah, anyways, I can see that boss taking like a lot of time for people to clear. Because if you're just doing, like, playing it like a noob to Puyo Puyo, and you're just doing like single clears all the way through, like, it's gonna take you forever to clear that, and that's not gonna be fun, especially on repeated playthroughs, until you like actually learn Puyo Puyo. Like, it wasn't a problem for me because I know Puyo Puyo and I have like no problem. In fact, I could have done even better there. I could have tried to link up like a 5-chain, but normally a 3-chain, or like a 3-chain with a sufficiently large finisher, will win it for you there. I was a bit... Or maybe I did it a bit too fast there. Because yeah, the Robotnik is so easy to beat in that. Like, he'll literally kill himself beyond a certain point. Like, the AI is so incompetent that it can't even keep up with, like, just a constant drop of... Like, not even without you dropping garbage on him. He'll just lose on his own, just from his own beans dropping down. And it's just, like, pathetic. But still, that's gonna take a while, unless you're working to, like, actually, you know, drop shit on him. It can be annoying if you don't know Puyo Puyo, is what I'm saying. And that's as much as I'm gonna say about that. I don't know if it's a funny idea, but I don't know if it's a good idea. I wonder if it wouldn't have been better to just keep that in as like a sight gag, like do a thing where it's like you're playing Puyo Puyo or playing Mean Bean Machine for a few seconds, and then the real boss comes out, which is something that's like, you know, a real Sonic boss that just incorporates Mean Bean Machine into it somehow. I don't know. Or like the aesthetic of Mean Bean Machine. I don't know. It's funny, and I personally like that it's there. It's a nice throwback, but I can see people hating that. That's the other thing. So this isn't a blind playthrough in the sense that, like, I've played the game before, but I have gone out of my, like, I've talked about this before in my previous playthrough series. I'm super strict when it comes to spoilers of games I'm excited for. Like, basically, I'll watch one trailer. Like, basically, I'll watch enough trailers to make a decision as to whether a game is something I care about or not. And once I've decided that I care about a game and I'm gonna, like, okay, I'm gonna play this. Once I've decided that I'm gonna play a game, I do not consume any media regarding that game whatsoever. No trailers, no reviews, no discussion whatsoever about it, and I try to go in knowing as little as possible. In fact, I think it was when I saw the trailer that included like sort of a little playthrough of this zone was what convinced me that I was gonna go in on this. I mean, hell, convinced me I was gonna play this no matter what. But this was what convinced me that I was gonna be excited for this game. And you know, it's actually probably not the worst thing in the world if it takes us a little bit of time to get all the emeralds. Like, I don't want to just like blitz through the game as Super Sonic. Like, you know, get all the emeralds in Zone 3 and just you know, cheese my way through the game as Super Sonic. I kind of want to get a full experience of, you know, we've done the Knuckles playthrough, and now I want to do the Sonic playthrough. But yeah, so now we're beyond, so in this zone, yeah, to finally actually talk about the zone, we're actually, like, out of the realm of, like, you know, nostalgic throwbacks. And, like, this is, like, an actual new original zone. Like, there's elements from the old games in it, certainly. You got the, you know, a new iteration of the Orbinaut there, which is just a great way to do that enemy as well. Where it's like he's got the shield, but you can actually break the shield. And if you're skillful, you can actually get through the shield without, like, you can hit him without busting those little, I don't know what to call them, orbital thingies. Sort of like the way you could do in Sonic 1, which is really cool. Oh, are we on the boss already? Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't get my blue sphere in that one. I had a lot of trouble with this, or not a lot of trouble, but a lot of annoyance with this boss my first time through. Because yeah, this is so not just an auto-scroller. Oh yeah, I didn't even see what happened there. I had my eye on the missile in the background. So, but yeah, this is not just an auto-scroller like the first boss, or the Act 2 boss of Green Hill, but it's an auto-runner, where you're, like, automatically running. It's like I think all the bosses in Sonic Advance 2 were like this. And the physics are a bit different. Like you can see when Sonic jumps, he loses a little bit of his momentum, which is really weird. And it makes it really difficult. Like, you would expect that you'd have to pull back on your jumps a little bit if it obeyed the regular jumping physics. Like, you'd expect to have to pull back a bit so that you don't go way too far forward into the next missile. But actually, yeah, because of the way you lose your momentum a bit when you jump, these jumps are actually super tight. And you can, like, basically you got to be holding forward the whole way, and yeah, jumping right at near the last second. And yeah, it's just they're kind of tricky jumps that don't obey the regular Sonic physics, and it took me a while to get the hang of it, and frankly, I still don't get the hang of it entirely, since I fucked up 2 of my jumps and nearly fucked up a 3rd there. So, yeah. Again, not sure about that boss. Like, it's not sure I even like the concept, frankly. It's neat. It's a neat little set piece. And again, a neat little... They got throwbacks to, like, every Sonic thing in this game. Like, I would not be surprised if they threw that mid-boss in there, specifically just as a throwback to, like, Sonic Advance 2. Just like, okay, Sonic Advance 2 had sort of these runner bosses, so we'll throw in one of those as well.